It's not easy standing here, opening up about something that feels bigger than logic, bigger than reason. I'm used to building things, machines, rockets, ideas that can be measured in numbers or tested in simulations. But what I'm saying now doesn't fit into an equation. It's about courage, the kind that doesn't come from ambition or intellect, but from the heart. And I'll be honest with you, it's terrifying. Because when you speak from the heart, you're unprotected. There's no armor of data, no blueprint to follow. Just truth. And truth can be raw, unpredictable, and brutally honest. But it's also the only thing that really matters in the end. For a long time, I thought courage meant persistence. Working long hours, taking big risks, betting everything on a dream. And yes, that kind of courage matters. But when you love someone, truly love them, there's another kind of bravery required. The courage to be seen completely with all your imperfections, hopes, and fears. It's standing in front of someone you care about more than anyone else and saying, "This is me, no filter, no mask. I'm not perfect, but I'm real." That's harder than launching any rocket. You see, it's easy to speak about visions for the future, about Mars, about technology that changes the world. But to look someone you love in the eyes and express what's in your soul, that's the real frontier. Because no matter how much we achieve, love remains the most complex, mysterious, and powerful force we'll ever encounter. It defies logic, yet it fuels everything we do. And in moments like this, when you have to find the courage to speak from the heart, you realize that love is what gives all those other things meaning. I've spent my life building things meant to last, but love isn't something you can engineer. You can't code it. You can't predict it. You can only nurture it with honesty. And that starts with words like these. Words that might tremble when they come out. Words that might not sound perfectly composed, but words that are true. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I want the woman I love to hear not just what I say, but what I feel. Because feelings are the one thing you can't fake. Sometimes we hide behind silence because we're afraid. Afraid of rejection, of saying too much, of losing control. But silence is a prison. It's where love goes to fade quietly. Courage means breaking that silence, even when your voice shakes. It means saying, "I care about you. I've made mistakes. I'm still learning. But I refuse to let fear speak louder than my heart." That's courage. There's a strange paradox in love. The stronger your feelings, the more vulnerable you become. And yet that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Because vulnerability isn't weakness. It's a sign that you're alive, that you're capable of something extraordinary. Every great leap humanity has ever made came from someone daring to believe, daring to feel, daring to risk. Love is no different. You risk your comfort, your pride, even your sense of control for the chance to connect deeply with another soul. That's the bravest act there is. So here I am, taking that risk, speaking not from intellect, but from emotion. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because there's a message I need to be heard. Not as an idea, but as truth. The message that love, at its core, is about showing up with everything you are. It's about saying, "Here's my heart. It's not perfect. It's been through storms. But it's yours if you'll hear me." If there's one thing I've learned, it's that courage in love doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means choosing to love despite it. It's trusting that honesty will take you farther than pride ever could. And maybe that's the real kind of success worth striving for, to be brave enough to love and humble enough to say so. So tonight, I'm not building, designing, or planning. I'm simply speaking from the most human part of me, hoping that these words don't just reach your ears, but your heart. Because in the end, courage isn't about conquering the universe. It's about having the strength to say what's real before it's too late. When I think about everything I've done, everything I've tried to build or change, it all comes back to one truth. None of it really means anything without people who make it worth it. And there's one person in particular who's done that for me, the woman I love. Her presence has been like gravity, steady, constant, quietly holding me in place when everything else feels like it's spinning out of control. It's strange how one person can completely shift the way you see the world. You can go through years thinking you understand purpose, that it's about ambition or innovation or progress. But then someone walks into your life, and suddenly, purpose becomes something else. It becomes a face, a laugh, a conversation that stays in your mind long after it ends. It becomes her. I don't think she even realizes how much her presence changes things. It's not about grand gestures, it's the quiet moments. The calm in her voice when the day has gone wrong. The way she listens, really listens, without trying to fix everything. The way she challenges me, pushes me to see the human side of things when I get lost in logic and complexity. There's something profoundly grounding about that. It's like she reminds me that beneath all the systems in science, there's still a heart beating, and it beats for connection. Gratitude is a word we use too casually sometimes. We say thank you, but we don't feel it deeply enough. When I say I'm grateful for her, I mean it in a way that goes beyond words. It's the kind of gratitude that comes from knowing that someone's presence has shaped you into a better version of yourself. That because of her, I've learned patience where I once had only drive. I've learned softness where I once relied only on strength. She's taught me that love isn't about control. It's about respect, about allowing someone to exist fully, as they are, and still choosing to stay by their side. There have been times when the world felt too loud, too many demands, too many expectations. And in those moments, her presence felt like silence, but not empty silence, peaceful silence. The kind that reminds you you're not alone, that you can exhale, finally, that you don't have to be all the time. And that kind of peace is rare. You can't buy it, build it, or chase it. It's given freely from one soul to another. And that's why I'll never take it for granted. When someone believes in you, not because of what you've achieved, but because of who you are, it changes everything. She's believed in me in moments when even I questioned myself. And that kind of faith, it's humbling. It makes you want to live up to it. It makes you want to rise higher, not for success or recognition, but simply to be worthy of that belief. I think gratitude is also about awareness, noticing the details, the small moments that make love real. The way she smiles when she's lost in thought. The way her eyes soften when she's happy. The quiet strength she carries without ever asking for acknowledgement. Those things might seem small, but they're the threads that hold everything together. And I've realized that life isn't built on milestones, it's built on moments like that. So yes, I'm grateful. Grateful for her laughter, her presence, her patience, her honesty. Grateful for the way she makes the world feel less mechanical, more human. Grateful that even in silence her energy fills the space between us. Because love, at its best, isn't a grand performance. It's a steady rhythm, a reminder that someone is walking beside you, believing in you, even when you stumble. If she's hearing this now, I want her to know that every time I push forward, every time I dream of something impossible, part of that drive comes from her. From knowing that there's someone out there who sees me not as what I create, but as who I am. And that kind of connection, it's the greatest invention of all. So, to the woman who's changed how I see the world, who's brought warmth where there was once only momentum, thank you. You may never fully understand the depth of what your presence means, but know this, in a universe filled with stars, you are the one constant I never want to lose. There's a moment in life when you realize that someone's presence isn't just comforting, it's transformative. That their existence doesn't just fill a space in your world, it reshapes the entire landscape of it. The woman I love did that for me. Her impact isn't something that can be measured or quantified. It's not loud, not showy, not something you can capture in a headline. It's quiet, steady, and deeply human. It's the kind of influence that shifts the way you think, the way you move through the world, the way you are. Before she came into my life, I was focused on forward motion, always chasing, always building, always reaching for something that felt just out of grasp. But when you meet someone who truly sees you, beyond the ambition, beyond the armor, it changes the trajectory of everything. She made me stop for a moment and realize that progress isn't just about how far you go, but what and who you take with you. She's taught me that the greatest power a person can have isn't control or intellect, it's the ability to inspire growth in others without even trying. It's the way she carries herself with quiet strength, how she listens with intention, how she leads not through words, but through example. Watching her navigate the world has shown me that grace is not weakness. It's the highest form of discipline. She's proof that compassion and power can coexist. That empathy can change minds faster than argument ever could. Her impact runs deep because it's subtle. It doesn't demand recognition, it just exists. It's in the way she approaches problems, with patience instead of panic, with understanding instead of judgment. It's in the way she treats people. The same, whether they can give her something or not. That's what real influence looks like. Not commanding attention, but commanding respect through authenticity. And I'll admit, she's challenged me in ways no one else has. She's called me out when I've been too focused on the horizon and reminded me to look at what's right in front of me. She's reminded me that innovation means nothing if it loses its humanity. That all the technology, all the progress in the world means little if we forget why we're creating it. To make life better, to connect people, to give hope. That's her impact on me. She reminds me what it's all for. There's a kind of energy that people like her carry. It's not something you can replicate. It's quiet confidence, the kind that lights up a room without even trying. You just feel it. You can't quite explain it, but it draws you in. And being around that kind of energy changes you. It sharpens you. It makes you want to rise to that same level of authenticity and strength. She's made me more aware of people of emotion, of what really matters. I've learned that real intelligence isn't just solving problems. It's understanding hearts. It's knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to push and when to pause. She embodies that balance effortlessly. It's something I still strive to master. And that's the thing about powerful people. They don't just teach you. They awaken something inside you that was always there but dormant. She's done that for me. She's redefined what strength looks like. Not as dominance, but as presence. Not as perfection, but as persistence. Her impact has extended far beyond our conversations or our moments together. It's in the way I now approach challenges, with more empathy, more patience, more awareness. It's in the way I treat others, the way I think about purpose. She's left fingerprints on my perspective, and they're not fading anytime soon. There are people who enter your life and make noise. Then there are those who enter quietly but leave an echo that never stops resonating. She's that echo. The reminder that greatness isn't just about what you build. It's about who you become because of the people who believe in you. If she's hearing this now, I want her to know her impact isn't confined to my memories or emotions. It's woven into the very way I live. Every decision, every new idea, every step forward carries a little piece of her influence in it. Because when someone truly touches your soul, they don't just change your story, they become part of it. And that's what she's done. She hasn't just inspired me, she's transformed me. Not through force, but through love. Not by demanding more, but by showing what's possible when someone believes in you completely. That's the power of her impact. And it will echo through everything I do for as long as I live. There's a certain kind of silence that cuts deeper than words ever could. It's the space that forms between two people who once understood each other effortlessly. You can be in the same room, breathing the same air, and yet feel like you're 1,000 miles apart. That kind of distance isn't physical. It's emotional. And it hurts more than failure, more than loss, because it's the pain of something that used to feel infinite now feeling fragile. I've learned that misunderstanding doesn't always come from anger or indifference. Sometimes it comes from love itself, from caring so deeply that your words twist under the weight of emotion. You try to explain what you feel, but it comes out wrong. You try to protect the connection, but pride, fear, or exhaustion steps in. And before you know it, the person who once felt closest to your soul starts to feel like a stranger you're trying to reach across a vast, invisible gap. It's in those moments that you realize how delicate love really is. Not weak, but delicate, like a living thing that needs attention, truth, and forgiveness to survive. You can't build it and walk away expecting it to sustain itself. You have to keep choosing it, even when it's hard, even when communication breaks down and both sides retreat into silence. Because silence, left unchecked, becomes distance. And distance, if ignored too long, becomes loss. There have been moments when I replayed conversations in my mind, things I said, things I didn't. Words that came out sharp when I meant them to be soft. Times when I thought I was being clear, but all she heard was distance. That's the tragedy of love sometimes. You think you're building a bridge, but you're actually building a wall. And by the time you realize it, you're both on opposite sides, wondering how it happened. But here's what I've come to understand: misunderstanding doesn't mean love has disappeared. It means love is being tested. It's asking you to slow down and to listen, to look past the frustration and remember the person behind it. The same person who once made you feel seen and alive, the same person whose laughter could turn an ordinary day into something unforgettable. That's who you're fighting for. Not the argument, not the pride, but them. When love reaches that fragile stage, it demands something that's harder than intelligence or strategy. It demands humility, the willingness to admit when you've been wrong, to say, "I'm sorry," even when it's uncomfortable. It means taking responsibility, not for everything that went wrong, but for the part you played in it. And sometimes that simple act of honesty can start to close the distance. Because more often than not, people don't need perfection. They just need to know they still matter. I think the hardest part about love is realizing that you can't always fix everything. You can't always find the perfect words or erase the pain you've caused. You can try up, you can stay present, you can keep reaching out, even when it feels like you're grasping at shadows. Because love isn't about never breaking, it's about always coming back. There's something powerful about fighting for connection when it would be easier to walk away. It means you still believe in what you built together, and belief is what love needs most when it's hanging by a thread, not promises, not explanations, just the quiet certainty that it's worth saving. Sometimes, distance teaches you more about love than closeness ever could. It strips away the noise, the assumptions, the comfort, and forces you to see what's left when everything else falls away. And if what remains is care, respect, and the wish to understand, then that's love, even if it's bruised. So to the woman I love, if she's listening, I want her to know that every unspoken word, every silence, every misunderstanding still carried love inside it. I may not have always known how to say it, but it was always there, waiting to be heard. Because even through the pain, even through the distance, there's one truth that remains unshaken. Love doesn't fade because of silence. It only fades when we stop trying to bridge it. And I'll never stop trying. Love is one of those things that everyone talks about, but very few truly understand. It's not something you can define in a sentence or measure with logic. You can't predict it, you can't control it, and you definitely can't plan it. It arrives unannounced, rewires the way you think, and demands that you look at life differently. For me, love isn't a transaction or a moment of passion. It's a continuous act of choosing, of showing up, even when it's inconvenient or difficult. For a long time, I thought love was about connection. The spark, the chemistry, the magnetic pull between two people. But as time goes on, you learn that connection is only the beginning. Real love begins when the spark has to become something stronger, something that can withstand time, misunderstanding, and imperfection. Love, to me, is what remains after the excitement fades, after the newness wears off, after you've seen each other's flaws and stayed anyway. It's the quiet decision, day after day, to keep building together. Love is patience. It's listening when your instinct is to argue. It's forgiving when pride tells you to stay angry. It's knowing that no matter how brilliant you think you are, there will be moments when your heart needs to learn humility. And sometimes, love teaches that lesson the hard way, because love isn't always easy. It's often uncomfortable. It demands honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to admit you don't always have the answers. I've realized that love isn't just an emotion. It's an ecosystem. It thrives when both people nurture it, protect it, and respect it. It dies when it's taken for granted or left unattended. You can't automate love. You can't optimize it or delegate it. It's something you have to live and breathe. something you have to invest in with intention. And when you do, it gives back in ways nothing else can. There's also an incredible freedom in love, the freedom to be completely yourself, to put down the armor, the ambition, the mask you wear for the rest of the world and just be. That's when love feels purest, when you don't have to perform to be accepted. When someone sees you not for what you've built or achieved, but for who you are underneath it all. That's what the woman I love gave me, a space where I could stop striving for a moment and just exist. And I didn't realize how rare that was until I had it. But love also means accountability. It means recognizing when your actions or your silence cause pain and being willing to grow from it. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aware. The best kind of love doesn't just make you feel safe. It makes you evolve. It challenges you to become a better version of yourself, not because someone demands it, but because you want to rise to the level of what they bring into your life. And I think that's the truest form of love, not possession, not dependence, but partnership. Two individuals choosing each other, not out of need, but out of respect. It's not about controlling someone's path. It's about walking beside them, even when your routes diverge for a while. It's about understanding that love isn't about keeping. It's about appreciating, about being grateful for the moments you share and the person you become because of them. Love at its essence is about presence. Not gifts, not promises, not words, but presence, the willingness to show up, to stay even when things get complicated, to listen when it's easier to walk away, to forgive, even when you don't fully understand. That's the kind of love that builds worlds, the kind that outlives distance, fear, and time. So what does love truly mean to me? It means choosing honesty over comfort. It means showing up even when your heart is uncertain. It means believing in someone's light, even when life dims it for a while. And above all, it means realizing that love isn't something you find. It's something you build. Because love isn't proven in the good moments. It's proven in the moments when everything is tested, and you still choose to stay. And if you can do that, if you can love through the chaos, through the silence, through the doubt, then you've found something truly extraordinary. Something worth fighting for, something worth never letting go. There comes a moment when words stop being about persuasion and start being about truth. This is that moment. What I'm saying now isn't an argument, it isn't a plan. It's a plea. Not a desperate one, but a hopeful one. A message to the woman I love from a place of honesty and vulnerability. I don't know if she'll hear it the way I intend it, but I need to say it anyway, because some things are too important to leave unsaid. I've spent much of my life believing that time fixes everything, that if you just keep moving forward, things eventually fall into place. But love doesn't work like that. Love requires intention. It requires effort. It requires the willingness to stop running long enough to face what really matters. And right now, what matters to me is her. The woman who changed how I see the world. The one whose presence still echoes in every quiet space, whose absence reminds me that even the strongest people need connection. So this is my message to her. Please hear this. I know I haven't always communicated perfectly. I know I've made mistakes, missed signals, misunderstood silences, chosen logic when I should have chosen empathy. But none of those things were born from indifference. They came from being human, from trying to navigate something too vast to control. What I feel for her doesn't fade because of distance or time. It's something constant, something that refuses to let go. I don't want to rewrite the past. I don't want to erase what's already been lived. I just want to build something real on top of it, something honest. I'm not asking for perfection, not even for certainty. I'm asking for a chance to speak clearly, to listen deeply, to rebuild trust not through promises but through actions. Because at the end of the day, love isn't about what you say. It's about what you do when words are no longer enough. I want her to know that I'm still here, not waiting idly, not dwelling on regret, but growing, learning. Trying to be the kind of man who can hold love with both strength and gentleness. I want her to know that she's inspired that growth even from afar. Every challenge, every reflection, every late night thought has been shaped by what we shared. And if she's ever doubted whether she mattered, She did. More than she'll ever know. There's something powerful about hope. It's what keeps people reaching for the stars, building what's never been built, believing in what hasn't yet been proven. But the same is true in love. Hope is what keeps you believing that hearts can find their way back to each other, even after storms, even after silence. And that's the hope I hold on to now. Not a naive one, but a grounded, steady faith that love this meaningful doesn't just disappear. It evolves. It waits for the right moment to be understood. If she's hearing this, I want her to know that I don't take love lightly. I never have. When I give my heart, I give it fully. I may not always know how to express it perfectly, but it's real. It's there in the way I remember her voice, the way I still think about her smile when the world feels heavy. It's there in the quiet moments when I pause, breathe, and feel gratitude just for having known her. That's what love means to me. Not possession, not perfection, but appreciation. So this is both my plea and my promise. My plea is simple. Hear me, not just with your ears, but with your heart. See past the mistakes, past the noise, and remember the truth of what we were, what we are, what we could still be. And my promise is this: I will never stop striving to be someone worthy of that kind of love. Someone who listens more than he speaks, who chooses understanding over pride, who fights for connection instead of control. Because love, at its core, isn't about finding someone to complete you. It's about finding someone who makes you want to become whole. And she's done that for me. So I stand here, not asking for forgiveness, not even asking for certainty, just asking to be heard, truly heard. And if this message reaches her heart, even for a moment, I hope she knows this one truth above all else, no matter what happens next. My love for her will always remain steady, honest, and alive, reaching across whatever distance time may put between us.